I suppose this is one way to introduce one of the new stadiums. By the coastline, we have an amusement park island where you may visit by cruise ship or by ferry along the canal. Then across the map, we have a nature reserve around an oasis where the rich minerals cause the redwoods to grow around its vicinity. And on the other side of the map, we have a fully functional, profitable, and trafficless ore and oil industries, both of which have zero imports. And in the last episode, we added the financial district right smack in the middle of the city. Greetings, fellow mayors, this is Captain Obvious, and today we will establish our very first campus while redeveloping loose ends around Noyou Port City. To start your campus, we first need to create a campus district, then add in the administration office. I am choosing the trade school campus as our first university, and I am just going to plop down several buildings that will pacify the attractiveness and number of students requirements to reach the next level. There are up to 5 levels of a campus, and in each level, you unlock a certain campus building. Since all the structures are not available to us, I find it pointless in creating a final layout. Then you will have to redesign everything as you get new buildings. Therefore, I choose to first prioritize unlocking all the campus buildings before creating our final campus design layout. Okay, let's slow down and take a closer look. We have enough campus attractiveness, and we also have enough student capacity that is necessary for the next level. Regarding the academic works, we will simply access the academic works tab, then raise the budget of the academic staff to the maximum, then give a research grant of 50,000, and it doesn't matter what type of grant you give. What we don't have are enough students attending the campus. Yet, by looking at the education information, we have enough student capacity. To solve this, we will go around the city and demolish all the generic universities, which will force all the university level students to attend our newly built campus. Now, when we look back at our campus, you can see that we instantly pacified the number of student requirements to reach the next campus level. In regards to the academic works, we have to wait for a full academic year to get a random number of academic works. The more staff funds and grants we provide, the more likely we will have more academic works by the end of the year. There are 5 levels to a campus, and if we are able to get enough academic works each year, it would take a minimum of 5 academic years to reach the prestigious final level of your campus. Then we will have all the campus structures available to us, and we could design our final campus layout. So while we wait for a full academic school year, this will give us the opportunity to redevelop the elementary and high schools that we demolished in the triangle above. You may notice that I cluster the lower level schools together instead of scattering them throughout the city. I am basically creating a mini campus, so we'll just consider the other school structures as different department buildings. So basically, while waiting for each academic year, I take this opportunity to redevelop and clean and design any areas that is necessary. This episode could just skip the other details and just focus on campus development, but this city is a series and it's important to show how I balance the city activities during downtime. For you, the viewer, this only takes a minute to a few seconds, while for me, probably an hour in real life has already passed, and I am perplexed as to why there has yet to be any notification for the campus level up. Okay, let's actually go back to the campus and investigate. And it seems that we did level up, and we just need another academic work for level 3. After each level up, you should go back to the academic works tab to give another research grant of any category. Then let's go back to the info tab and click on the academic year reports, and in the lower right, uncheck the Don't Notify Me when an academic year ends. Also in this panel, we can see the newly unlocked structures by campus reputation level. Each building may provide additional student capacity and campus attractiveness. Alright, let's go ahead and add in the first of 3 unique campus buildings per trade campus type. Let's go ahead and plop down the other new structures just to spike up the student capacity and campus attractiveness. Again, this is not our final layout. We are simply fulfilling the requirements to reach the final campus level, then we can go back and redesign the campus. Okay, let's check the info panel again, and we have more than enough students and campus attractiveness. So again, we just need to wait for the school year to end, then we'll get new academic works. While we wait for an academic year to end, let's continue this train track from the previous financial districts episode. We are literally going to rip through the city to maintain an elevated track. It is completely possible to simply make a tunnel without disrupting the surface, but when you watch trains travel above ground around your city, it is so worth it. I am probably the only Cities Skylines player who does not use tunnels for the past 2 years or more, and the results are absolutely magnificent. Slowly yet surely, I can see other players reduce their use of tunnels and use more of above ground tracks. Okay, let's check out the year progress of the campus. It appears that we still have time to develop elsewhere around the city. Since there is a high demand for residential and commercial, we will just continue from the financial districts episode and develop the surrounding areas with high density zoning. So we get 7 plus 4 academic works, which is awesome, and we also unlock new structures when reaching the renowned 3-star campus. Looking back at the campus stats, we need just 1 academic work to upgrade the campus. Every year, don't forget to give research grants, which helps improve the chances of getting an academic work. To maintain a 5-star prestigious level, you will need about 2,000 campus attractiveness. So what we will do is to plan ahead and add more academic statues, which gives the most campus attractiveness point. And while we are at it, I'm going to add the new structures that we just unlocked. Okay, now we definitely have more than enough attractiveness. We are currently a 3-star campus, and we just have 2 more levels to go to reach the maximum 5-star prestigious campus level. And just like that, we are now an acclaimed 4-star campus. Let's look back at the campus stats, and we are 11 of 16 academic works. Let's not forget to give a research grant, and if we're lucky, we will get at least 5 academic works to reach the 5-star campus, which means it only took us 5 in-game years to maximize the campus. So again, for one final time, we have to wait for another academic year, so we will take this opportunity to fill in this triangle about. In my opinion, this triangle about works a lot better and is a much more smoother than a roundabout because it reduces the number of interchanges to cross by one. But regardless if you choose to utilize a roundabout or a triangle about, either one works best when they are large in order to provide more space for vehicles to complete their turn. We are now 5 stars in just 5 in-game years. Amazing. Let's look at the stats. And you can see that we are earning a profit, so a campus is much more beneficial than having generic universities around your city. Also, don't forget to go to the Academic Works tab and remove funding for academic staff, which is no longer necessary. This right here is the main reason why every mayor should have a campus in their city. That is all for the profits. If you use the generic universities, these things cost money and they stack up over time as you keep adding more. They may take up a smaller footprint, but having profit is definitely much more beneficial. And other than that, you also get bonuses for using a campus. So for example, using the trade school, for this one will give you increased patrol cars counts and jail capacity. This isn't so much of a big deal, but this one, the School of Tourism and Travel, it increases income from all your commercial zones. So that is extremely good because like basically the three things you zone are residential and commercial. So you definitely need this, or you get offices or industries DLC. So this is basically the same way why you should have industries DLC, because you just gain profit instead of just putting things down. And the last unique structure for campus is the School of Engineering, which increases all generic zone industry income while reducing city water consumption and sewage outlet. So this reduces the cost or the use of water. Other than that, a campus also gives you varsity stadiums, so such as these things, and they can also be placed anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be within a campus district. So for instance here, you can put it here or you can put it outside, anywhere around your city. But if you do decide to place it within your campus district, it will add to the attractiveness. So for instance, we are currently at 2,245. If we add this, it added 100. I think. Yeah, it added 100 campus attractiveness. Probably a downside to campus university is it takes up a lot of space, but I think that is a good thing. Instead of having a small footprint, you could use that space to make it more attractive by designing something neat. Okay, so let's go ahead and start finalizing our design. So this is not going to be here. I'm going to be using a campus varsity stadium, but I will be replacing the stadium with the stadium's content creator pack. So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these unique campus structures and I'm just gonna put it here for the meantime. Okay, so why did I put it here? I intend to use this someplace else because I don't want to put all the campus structures here. So that's another thing with the campus university. You're not restricted to build everything on that one area. What you can do is you can create tiny pockets of that campus type around your city. So similar to how I've been making the lower grade schools, I have tiny pockets around the city. So this is the same way that I'm going to apply it with the campus DLC. Okay, so why did I place these guys all the way over here? So these things create a happiness, anything around it, similar to what like a school or any service structure does. So if I place this, for example, around here, if I place it there, and then if I decide to move it, what it did was it created happiness around here, and when you remove it, all of them will become upset, and you have to replace that happiness with another building. So that's why it's a lot safer to put it in a corner where there is nothing around it. So this is also the same reason why when I built this, I don't have any finalized structures nearby, so all of this will be replaced. There's nothing here that will be affected, especially when I move things around. Okay, so what I did now is I created space, and I want to feature all the buildings along this monorail line, or also along this train line. So because the way I build cities is I don't build roads, I create a journey. So when a train is passing by, it would be really neat if you could see the buildings instantly. So for example, these buildings, so you don't really get to see them, and unfortunately when you put them in the middle of your city, you don't get to appreciate how it looks. So but now if we are traveling by train, you can see that, you know, this staircase that looks really neat. And if you look over here, the cafeteria, you can see all those benches, or, you know, places to eat outside. I think that's a really neat detail, and you don't get to see that simply because all of these structures are like mostly in the middle of the university. So this is why I try to make everything along the tracks so we can better appreciate, you know, all the buildings. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and design this. So as much as possible, I try to get at least one of each campus structure, except for dormitories that adds student capacity, and statues and fountains that adds campus attractiveness. These are the only two campus structures that you want to spam. To avoid clustering too many dormitories together, I try to segregate them by having at most just 4 of them together, then create another area for more dormitories. For the meantime, I used the varsity football stadium because I was actually in the middle of creating this video, then the new content creator pack was just released. So later in this episode, I will be adding some of the new things. Here you can see that the pathways are scattered going in different directions. That is because the structures that I want to feature along the monorail track are not necessarily on the right angle or is the best looking side of the building. Therefore, I rotate the structure according to what I think is the most appealing side, then add in the pathway necessary to activate the building. From here, I fill in the gaps by adding minor detailing like planting trees and creating more pathways. You may notice that I rarely do close-up detailing. I just find it extremely tedious and time-consuming when I feel that my time to build can be better utilized by expanding and growing the city. Nevertheless, close-up detailing is still necessary, and I really should embrace it more and find an acceptable balance of city growth and detailing. It was around this point was when the sports venues and other content creator packs were released. My general opinion of the updates and new content are that they are a great addition to the game. It creates new infrastructure possibilities, especially with the new roads and transportation stations. Noyou Port City is an excellent example of how the entire city build was inspired by the Bridges and Piers content creator pack. My vision was to have ferries going under these beautiful bridges. And now, with the new update, we have new ferry boats to play with. The only unfortunate thing about the new ferries is that the new boats have less passenger capacity, which makes it difficult to manage efficiently. If you are new to the channel, in all my city series published here on YouTube, we have been able to not only use helicopters, blimps, and trolley buses, we make certain that they are efficient without an overwhelming number of passengers waiting at stops, which is probably the most difficult task to manage. But so far, since this city is still in development, we only have trolley buses established in the city, and we will also efficiently use the new ferry boats. Then eventually, we will also add a few blimps and helicopters. So I am trying my best to only zone high density residential so we can reach the next milestone. And I still favor the low structure height and low density local and organic commercial buildings. Wow. Well, I suppose that is one way to introduce new content. When I initially aligned campus buildings along the monorail track, I did not expect to find a burning stadium at the end. I suppose some sims can't be reasoned with a new and pretty stadium. Some sims just want to watch the world burn. That was a Dark Knight reference for any fans out there. Alright, let's check out the city stats of what we've done today. And we are definitely in the positive when it comes to the campus. Our traffic flow is at 92%. That is excellent. And the other stats there is, so you notice this, our population dropped. And I don't know, coincidentally, if you check out the prisoners, this also dropped. So maybe some prisoners escaped and caused the fire. I don't know. But that could be a thing in Cities Skylines too, right? Okay, so kind of the last thing that I want to do is replace this. So we are going to replace the old and dated Metro monorail train hub with the new and massive Metro train monorail tram hub with road. Now that is a mouthful. It has 2 elevated and 2 grounded train and metro tracks and 1 underground metro with a monorail and tram in the middle. We basically forced this new structure in here like the new stadium, but I'm just glad that it fits. And of course, it's nice to have and use all the new things. The only catch is we have to redo some of our tracks, and we have 2 unconnected above ground train and metro stops that we might find a use in the future. But for now, the other stops serves no purpose. So here, I was a little confused on how to connect to the road and to the tram bridge. So that's when I decided to just divide them completely. The hub in itself is already a tram stop, so I don't need to make a tram stop in front of the stadium or the campus entrance. We can definitely just use buses, hence why I made that road with bus lanes. Okay, so this works a lot better, and now the 2 parks in front of the stadium seems redundant since we already have the elevated plaza. Therefore, we'll just place in the new parking lots, and I also added in the blimp stop so you could get a nice view of the stadium from the air. From here, I made a few more adjustments to zoning. Then eventually I made the monorail track less squiggly. Okay, let's do a health check of the city. It's important to do that because as your city grows, some things may start to collapse. And we're gonna do this health check in one video. So if you look at it, we're at 73,000. And well, and you can see that there are alerts active in the city. What I mean about alerts is, for example, this. You can see that this has garbage issues. We have a few deaths around the city, but that is fine. It's not overwhelming. But the important thing is you don't see like education issues or not enough customers. Those are the things that you should be very alert of. And on this side, we can see some delivery delays, but these guys will never abandon. So we are not too worried about it. Oh, we have an abandoned building there, but again, that is only very few. So I am not too worried. All right. So the next thing that you want to check as your city grows is how your transportation is doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we're going to start from the top. So let's check out our bus lines. So our bus, this seems really good because if you compare the stop, the number of passengers waiting to the vehicle, it is definitely less. So they will definitely be picked up. When you look at this though, it seems like there's an overwhelming number. So a good thing to do is to check if there's actually a queue. As you can see, there is no like huge queue. It was just one. I suppose that the icons are just too close together. Let's take a look. Yeah, they're just too close together, but I don't see any issues. There's only like maybe one bus waiting. So this line is good. Let's check the next one. So this one I'm using a different bus, which I really do enjoy because I want to try to use the different types of buses around the city and not just those long bendy buses simply because you want like more capacity. So these buses here are really nice. If you can use a variety, that will be excellent. Okay, even this one, this is the tour bus, the sightseeing bus tours. So that's a nice variety in your city. All right, let's check out the next one. Trolley buses. Here's another type of bus. So this one is a little difficult to manage simply because there's only 30 capacity. And as you can see, it seems like an overwhelming number. But the stops, it doesn't seem like there's too many. Let's look at this since this is the most. So if you look at the stop itself, there isn't a huge queue of trolley buses. It like only one will come in, which is pretty normal. So I consider this well. I don't think there are any issues with our trolley bus. Let's check this other stop. This is probably my favorite stop in all the game because I made this ice cream center. I'm guessing these guys are like rich AF because imagine the number of customers there. And it's also under the bridge. I like that. This was I really enjoyed this build. Let's check the next stop. All right, let's check our tram lines. Our tram lines also looks great. And again, I am using a different type of vehicle. As you can see, this is 132. Let's check the next one. This one is also great. We are probably using a large capacity, but as the city grows, there's going to be more people. But we can reduce it if we wanted to. But nevertheless, it's good to know that it is healthy. We have no metro lines for now, and I don't think we're gonna ever have any. Our trains are never an issue because they have the most capacity. But as you can see, there is no problem here, and I'm using different types of vehicles as well. Same goes with this. We only needed one. And our ferry lines. Let's check out our ferry lines, and I am using the new ferry boat. And this has less capacity, but when we take a look, So this is 66, so you will need about 2 before you can pick everyone up. And I don't think that's too bad, you know. In real life that happens. You sometimes have to wait for the next boat. But yeah, it works really neatly. I like the new stuff, so it's a little different. And lastly, we have our monorail line, which is again not an issue because of the capacity, which is huge. And with that, if we have all our stops or all our train stations doing well, our traffic flow is at 92% at 73,000 population. We are still a little under. I mean, our goal is at least, and it ticked up to 93, are at least 100,000. And the most beautiful thing about this whole build is how the network is being run. So for instance, if you look at it, so we have our hub here. So you're gonna have to imagine a circle in this area, which basically accommodates all the area here. And then you can see that from here we have another that is connected to this one, which in turn is connected to this one. So this is a train hub. And then here is a monorail line right here. It goes there. And then this monorail connects to this one. And then this one connects to that one. So each connection, you're going to have to imagine a circle around it where passengers can, enter. And then from here is the same thing here. And this one, we have a train line going over there. Basically, it covers almost every area of the city. So this one doesn't have any, as you notice, but we do have our ferry route. So the ferries will basically carry the passengers. Let's say it goes here, and then from here they can choose to ride the monorail. So the network is really clean. And the important thing, let's say this one we just built, right? Our campus area. How is it doing, by the way? It is, of course, in the positive, so that is all good. So this one has, of course, we have this, and it also has access to the highway, because this is very important as well. So it's not just your transportation network, but it also has to be your road network, because that is where trucks come in. Of course, trucks doesn't go through your transportation. They need roads, they need access. So this is why this is really well done. And on top of that, of course, we are keeping to our thing where, so you see this is the underground metro. It is a black line, and if you look at the rest of the city, there are no black lines, simply because we have zero tunneling, no road tunneling, no nothing. Everything is above ground, and we are still able to keep that traffic flow at above 92. Wow, 93. Simply amazing. With that said, I want to congratulate Obvious community member Felice for being inducted into the 3-star Vanilla Champion Hall of Fame. He reached at least 100,000 population with a positive income and have over 90% traffic flow, and he did it all on console.
92% traffic flow, beautiful, just beautiful. I'm super happy about it. You can see that it's pretty busy in almost every area, but it's a really good flow. Everything is flowing, and that's really good to see.
Furthermore, he accomplished this with his first YouTube series. If you play on console and want to check out how he did it, his channel link is in the description. I am quite sure that there are more obvious viewers who qualify to be in the Hall of Fame. There are different categories for everyone, from 100% vanilla to lightly modded and to the heavily modded category. If you have a city that qualifies, join the Discord channel to check out the details, and your city can be featured in an episode. Well, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that like button to support the captain, and if you are looking for more educational city management while maintaining an aesthetically pleasant design, hit that subscribe button and comment down below on what you like about the build. This is Captain Obvious. Thank you for watching and for choosing to fly with Obvious Airlines. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next flight.